भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering off service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and the loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with the transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, verse number 39, 40, and 41 today. सवा अंगिरसो ब्राह्मण श्रुत्वा सूता विलापनम् उन्मिलया संकीर्णेत्रे दृष्ट्वा चंसे मृतो रगम. सवय अंगिरसो ब्राह्मण श्रुत्वा सूता विलापनम् उन्मिलया सनकैर्नेत्रे दृष्ट्वा चांसे मृतोरगम. सवा अंगिरसो ब्राह्मण श्रुत्वा सूतविलापनम् उन्मिलय शनकैर्नेत्रे दृष्ट्वा चांसे मृतोरगम. Synonyms or word. Sa he, why also, Angirasaha, the she born in the family of Angira, Brahman, O Saunaka, Shrutva, on hearing, Suta, his son, Vilapanam, crying in distress, Unmilaya, opening, Sanakai, gradually, Netre, by the eyes, Drushtva, by seeing, Cha, also, Amse, on the shoulder, Mrita, dead, Uragam, snake. Translation: O Brahmana, the Rishi who was born in the family of the Angira Muni, hearing his son crying, gradually opened his eyes and saw the dead snake around his neck. There's no purport, so we'll go to next verse. विसृजतं च पप्रच्छ विश जय जय गिरिराज महाराज की जय नित्यानंद मुकुंद भगवान की शिला प्रभु विसृजचं तं च प्रपश्च वत्स कस्मासिधीरुदेशी केन वा ते मृत्यु योक्त संज्ञ वेदयत्. Translation: He threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. Purport: The father did not take the dead snake on his neck very seriously. He simply threw it away. Actually, there was nothing seriously wrong in Maharaj Parikshit's act, but the foolish son took it very seriously, and being influenced by the Kali, he cursed the king and thus ended a chapter of happy history. Next one. विषम में सप्त विषम में सप्त अतत अर्हम नरेन्द्रम सब्राह्मणोन नत्माजम अभ्यानदात अहो भत्महो मद आद्यते कृतम अल्पीय श्रीद्रोहा उरुर्दमोदृता. Translation: The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best among all the human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. Purport: The king is the best of all human beings. He is the representative of God, and he is never to be condemned for any of his actions. In other words, the king can do no wrong. The king may order hanging of a culprit son of a Brahmana, but he doesn't become sinful for killing a Brahmana. Even if there is something wrong with the king, he is never to be condemned. A medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment, but such a killer is never condemned to that. So, what to speak of a good and pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? In the Vedic way of life, the king is trained to become a Rajarshi, a great saint. Although he is ruling as a king, it is the king only by whose good governance the citizens can live peacefully and without any fear. The Rajarishis would manage their kingdom so nicely and piously that their subject would respect them if they were the Lord. If they were the Lord, as if they were the Lord. That is the instructions of the Vedas. The king is called as Narendra, or the best among the human beings. How then could a king like Maharaj Parikshit be condemned by an inexperienced puffed up son of Brahmana, even though he had attained the power of a qualified Brahmana? Since Samik Rishi was an experienced good Brahmana, he did not approve the actions of his condemned son. He began to lament for all that his son had done. The king was beyond the jurisdictions of curse as a general rule. And what to speak of a good king like Maharaj Parikshit? The offense of the king was most insignificant, and his being condemned to death was certainly a very great sin for Shringi. Therefore, Rishi Samika regretted the whole incident. So these are the three verses we are reading today. 38 from chapter Canto 1, chapter 18, verse number 38, 39. Sorry, 39, 40, and 41. So in the verse number 39, so how the scene happened is like when Sonaka Rishi, sorry, Samik Rishi, he saw his meditation broken. He just came up, he woke up. He saw a dead snake on his neck. What he did, he took a dead snake and just put it aside. And he saw his son crying. He never, took the dead snake in his neck very seriously. Oh, what is this? Who did what? Never get angry, nothing. He is as if, oh, something happened. He just took it and put it aside. And then his son, Shringi, was crying. So Samik Rishi asked him, why are you crying? Why are you crying, child? So he then narrated the whole incident. This is what happened, you know. So here Prabhupada is pointing out that the reaction of Samik Rishi in the second verse, number 40, that he did not approve his sons cursing the king Parikshit. So he did not say, you did a good job, this Parikshit king, how could you do this thing to me? How could you put a dead snake in the dead snake in the neck of a rishi like me, Samik Rishi? How could you do that? He didn't say that. What he said is, you did a great offense. You should not have cursed king like this. So this is a quality. I mean, as I'm hearing here, right, as we read it here, we can see the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. We'll discuss about qualities of Parikshit Maharaj, quality of Shringi, quality of Samik Rishi. These are the three main players among this entire story, you know, and how Krishna is making them an instrument. Who is becoming instrument of what? That is the main thing here to understand. Before that, before we discuss their qualities, we can see here is Prabhupada mentioning in great detail about the king. So Samik Rishi mentioned to Shringi that you cursed a king, but king is never to be cursed. King can never go wrong. King is a Raj Rishi. What to speak of Parikshit Maharaj? Like we'll discuss his great qualities. So even if any king at that point, at that time, should never be punished because he is a king. He is taking care of entire praja, and that time king is called as Raj Rishi. Raj Rishi means he is doing a Raja's duty, but he is a Rishi, he is a saint. When king does all his duties and retire from his duties, they go to uh, uh, north for self-realization, meaning they take vanaprastha and eventually sannyas. So King Parikshit should have never been punished, and that too offense was not great. I mean, Samik Rishi never cared about a dead snake, right? I mean, if there is a dead snake, he just took it away and that's it. You know, something as if something like something fall on his body, maybe a leaf of a tree or a branch, and he just took it and kept it aside. So the offense was not that great. Offense was not like so horrible. It was just a dead snake. And again, as we go back, and now we're coming back to the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. Hmm? So Maharaj Parikshit being a great saint, and we discussed that in previous last to last Bhagavatam class, that as soon as he put a dead snake in the neck of Samik Rishi, Maharaj Parikshit lamented, why did I do this? You know, in the womb of a mother, when Ashwadhama give that right weapon, Brahmastra, that heat also could not disturb Parikshit Maharaj at all. How could this hunger and thirst disturb him? How could he just put a dead snake? This is a quality of a sincere, pure devotee of the Lord, sincere devotee of the Lord. So Parikshit Maharaj felt that I shouldn't have done this. But how Krishna influenced Parikshit Maharaj? Later, Parikshit Maharaj uh, basically lamented because he's a sincere devotee. But Krishna sitting in his heart inspired him to do so. Krishna knows Parikshit Maharaj can never do anything wrong. Parikshit Maharaj was a Rajrishi, he can never do anything wrong. But for Krishna to appear in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam, or in the form of Bhagavatam for the entire world, Krishna chose Parikshit Maharaj and influenced him to act in such a way that this all pastime can happen. Now, that is about Parikshit Maharaj. Very sincere, lamented. Um, and the other hand, the second character, which is Shringi, he became an instrument of Kali. He became disciple of Maya. So that's what Prabhupada mentions here. He said, it's not like Lord Krishna inspired Shringi to curse Parikshit Maharaj. No. Here it would have been mentioned otherwise. But it is mentioned that Krishna inspired King Parikshit to put a dead snake because he could never do wrong. Krishna knows my devotee Parikshit is a very pure, great devotee. He could never do wrong. So, for me to make him do something for other Shringi to curse, I have to inspire him, so I inspired him. In the other side, he never had to do anything to Shringi because Shringi is already become an instrument of age of Kali. Inexperienced Brahmana boy, and Prabhupada is heavily condemning Shringi. Um, Obviously, it was part of the entire story, but Krishna never had to directly inspire Shringi because Shringi was not pure devotee. He was popped up Brahmana boy, and naturally, when he saw the dead snake in the neck of a father, he became immediately agitated because that is a quality of material world, and Maya Devi's disciples are always engrossed in these qualities, so much, so that he immediately became agitated, and he said, "Oh, how could you do this, my father?" And he was inexperienced boy. He started cursing, and he cursed Parikshit Maharaj that he'll die in 7. He didn't know who did it, but he just cursed it without even thinking. Now here is a father, Samik Rishi. What is his quality? As soon as he heard from his son, first of all, he never took the dead snake very seriously. He just took it aside. What a great quality. As if like something, did not think who did it, who's the rascal did it. I'm in the samadhi here doing meditation, and who could do this wrong to me? Never thought anything like that. Just took a snake and put it aside as if some leaf is falling on his cloth, and he's just taking and putting it aside. And then he inquired, Ki, Beta, what happened? Why are you crying, Shringi? Then when he explained, that time he chastised his son heavily. Chastised heavily, saying, You foolish boy, you don't know, you cursed a king, you should have never done that. It's a great offense. So that is a great quality of Samik Rishi. Samik Rishi and Parikshit Maharaj both exemplified very great qualities here. However, Shringi qualities of being puffed up and being ignorant and being a disciple of Kali is highlighted here. So what I was thinking is like, what do I learn from all this? You know, um, the main thing which is, I think Ramananda Krishna Prabhuji also were discussing some time back in the class, that we do not want to become an instrument of Kali. We don't want to become disciple of Kali, Maya. Mm. However, it would be, it's better to focus on the sadhana, do little what we can, but out of doing so much and so many things, we start offending devotees, taking things personally and blaspheming devotees and creating troubles in the preaching movement, disturbing the whole atmosphere by bringing in negative energy and all that. That is nothing but becoming an instrument of Kali. So we have to be very, very careful. No matter how correct, how right we are, but if it's disturbing the whole preaching movement or preaching activities or cultivation of devotees or anything, then that is actually becoming an instrument of Kali. So taking humble position always helps. Um, no matter whether we are right or wrong, it doesn't matter. What matters is, am I taking humble position and not becoming an instrument of age of Kali? Kali Yuga is Maya Devi is very strong, very powerful. We know it's it's almost impossible to get out of clutches of Maya in the age of Kali. The more we stay focused in chanting, hearing, reading, association of devotees, festivals, the more we can be away from Maya. But as soon as we think that this is what I am doing, I am the doer, I did it, me, I am the center, that is basically false pride, false ego, false pride. And Maya makes an instrument to such devotees who thinks I am the doer, I who did it, I am the one who did it. Nothing in Krishna Community Center is done by anyone. It is all done by Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara. We are just an instrument of that. That is the reality. And if somebody is not thinking that I am the instrument of Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara's mercy, and by their mercy this is happening, and I am grateful and fortunate to be an instrument of their activities, of their pastimes, that is the great fortune. And that is the only thing which is going to take us back to Godhead. If I am thinking, "Oh, I did this, I did that, I am the one who is doing it," that is uh, not the key to back to Godhead. However, it can become a stumbling block in path of bhakti. Krishna doesn't like pride in his devotees. And what Krishna, there's one class I heard, pride comes before fall. So as soon as pride is there in the heart, the fall will happen. Definitely guaranteed, no doubt about it. So, keeping ourselves humble and not to become an instrument of Kali, not to become disciple of Maya. How do we understand that? So, this is Singlish character is teaching us from Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many people with different nature will come to Krishna Community Center. We have to deal with so many people with different nature, with the different qualities, different background. Anybody who comes brings so much with them. What they bring? They bring their nature, number one. They bring their um, qualities, they bring their gunas. Somebody might be very passionate, somebody might be ignorant. Everybody is influenced by different modes, definitely. When we are not a pure devotee, which is transcendental beyond the three modes of material nature, we are affected by gunas. So what is that gun? So rajagun, tamogun, satogun. They bring with their own rajogun, tamogun, satogun. Some might have a lot of rajo, some might have a lot of sato. Lot of satogun is very good. They are always humble and quiet and they won't create any disturbance. But if somebody is coming with lot of rajo or lot of tamo, then dealing with them becomes little tough, particularly management people, right? But the point here is that many people with different qualities, different nature, different baggage, different background will come. And rather than we becoming agitated by dealing with them, by their actions or by their behavior, we have to take a humble position, stay calm, and understand that this person is agitated right now. I should not also become agitated and react in the same way. Rather, I should just humbly try to like get away from the situation for time being. And once the person is not agitated and becomes calm down, then address the situation through proper channel. How do we address the situation through proper channel? We involve the respective authority, or in our case, Shamananda Krishna Prabhuji is our authority. So we involve Prabhuji, we go to Prabhuji and talk. But never confront or never defend or never argue with anybody else. You know, we see person coming with a lot of expectation, comes and says, "Hey, I want to do this." So the point here is we have to be careful while dealing with the Vaishnavas. not just Vaishnavas, but any new devotees who are coming to the center. With the new devotees, new excitement comes, and a lot of enthusiasm also brings in. So sometimes that enthusiasm may apparently seems like not aligned with our culture of ISKCON, and they might deviate it a little bit, and we might find, oh, this person is like, just for example, like nice kirtan is happening, a person is singing very nicely, like senior devotee singing very nicely, playing kartal, and there is nice experienced mridanga player is matching with him. But suddenly some new person comes and he has a lot of enthusiasm to play and he's very excited. He takes mridanga and started beating, and it's off the beat and doesn't make any sense, and people are getting distracted by his sound. So what happens is, he is enthusiastic. He's trying to show the enthusiasm and trying to play, because that enthusiasm is there, and he wanted to play because he likes to play, but he doesn't know how to play, and that is creating a disturbance. So what happens is the other devotee starts feeling a little bit uncomfortable, like this person is just doing off the beat. At that point in time, it becomes really difficult to deal with the situation. Is that correct or wrong? Is that correct, right? This person, किसी को कुछ बोलना है कि अरे भाई ऐसा मत करो, यू नो, पीपल बिकम हर्ट। अरे मैं इतना इंथुजियाज्म से बजा रहा हूँ, इतना इंथुजियाज्म से आके मैं कीर्तनी तो कर रहा हूँ, मृदंगा तो बजा रहा हूँ, वाई दे आर सेइंग स्टॉप, इट्स नॉट गुड, he may feel offended. So we have to deal with that situation very, very carefully, very, very carefully. How do we have to do it? Somebody who is very experienced and humble should go to that person quietly and take that person aside and humbly explain the situation. You know, like Prabhu, you are such a great devotee, very enthusiastic. I can see a lot of praise that person first. See a lot of enthusiasm in you. You picked up Mridanga, immediately started playing. Wow, such a great quality, very rare quality actually. um, Prabhuji, this is happening here. It's kirtan going on right now, and I think the person who is singing is little bit like what you are playing may not be syncing right away. So maybe how about we practice little bit, and then once we have alignment or matching with the singer, then definitely you can play, Prabhu. No problem. You know, humbly we have to explain. If you go, hey, stop, stop, don't play, let him play, without explaining that person will immediately feel hurted. Without, if you just don't glorify that person, don't. The first thing is correction needs to be done with a glorification. There is lot of glorification should happen before correction should go, you know, because that's what we learned in our deity worship seminar. If you want to give correction, it has to be sandwiched. How we sandwich it? The top layer, lot of glorification, in middle correction, and in the end again glorification. So you glorify the person first, then you make some correction should be done in a humble way. How the wording, see, the most important thing, what kind of wording is used, what wording, very nice. In my humble opinion, I think this would help it improve better. These are the wordings to use. And then at the end, amazing, Prabhu. I'm really like your enthusiasm. Great, keep it up. So sandwich the correction in a humble way in between and communicate. At the end of the day, what kind of words are used is very, very important. We don't have to use left and right straight words, but we have to humbly. And that's again to the new people. If somebody is senior, if Shamananda Krishna Prabhuji wants to correct, for example, me or somebody, Prabhuji doesn't have to, use the same technique. Prabhuji can come and, Prabhu, this is wrong. What he can, because he has a right, and we are also not at the neophyte level, right? We have been practicing since long, and we know. So Prabhuji can come and heavily chastise us and correct. So that's a different platform. But what I'm trying to tell is, for the person who is a new, and we know we don't have a proper relationship. See, it all depends upon who is correcting and who is taking correction. If we have a very good relationship with a person, very, very good and comfortably we can speak, that time correction, tone, correction level could be different. But if you are not comfortable with somebody and we want to correct that person, that correction is different than being in a good relation with the person. you know so it all depends upon time, place, and circumstances. But moreover here, in general is when somebody new comes, we have to be humble and uh, understand that properly. Janmadevi, Janmadevi Mataji, you raised a hand. You had a question?
Prabhuji, I don't know how to frame it and ask. It's okay. We'll talk later. Thank you.
You can ask. You
No,
have
no,
time.
no. I don't know how to ask it in a nice way. So it's okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, we can discuss later, but
Yes.
please,
Yes,
yeah.
Prabhuji. Sure.
Okay. So the here we can see, right? I mean, if we compare the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj, qualities of Samik Rishi, and quality of Shringi. Shringi being a neophyte boy who is inexperienced, who is young, and um, it says, right? I mean, he got the power, but he was so young and so inexperienced that he could not use his power properly. So, um, uh, it matters a lot with the experience, with age. जय जगन्नाथ महाराज की जय, नित्यानंद अभिचंद्र भगवान की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. As we progress in bhakti, as we learn, as we trained ourselves, and Krishna is the one who trains actually. When somebody comes as a neophyte devotee, lot of things needs to be corrected or improved, and Krishna is the one who trains and who corrects. Like all the experienced devotee on the Zoom call, when you came first to Krishna consciousness, probably you can analyze yourself, right? How much, and again, I can talk about myself also. How many qualities we had in the beginning, and when later, as we learned, as we chanted, we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, we studied the literature, studied the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, each and every character and their qualities, how they exemplify how to behave, you know. So same thing here we can learn from the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj, qualities of Samik Rishi, and from Shringi also, what to do, what not to do, and whom Krishna makes an instrument and whom Kali makes an instrument, you know. So if we are influenced by anarthas, and three modes, no doubt we are influenced by Kali and we are becoming instrument of Kali. We want to avoid that. And how do we do that? We have to become little bit calm. If somebody is agitated, situation is heated up, right? If situation is heated up, the best thing is stay quiet and let the situation calm down. If situation is heated up, somebody is agitated, and I'm not saying person need not to be corrected. Everything needs to be happen, but that is not the right time to deal with the situation. You know, if somebody is heated up or agitated, we have to just let that situation, let that discussion cut off, thinking, okay, I heard you, whatever you mentioned, I understood. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Right. So that is the way we should just move away from that situation. And then later point in time, when the person is not agitated or calmed down, then needs to be communicated, corrected, or adjusted. But when somebody is agitated and coming back and telling us, this, do this, I want to do that, and why are you doing like this and this and this? I said, no, no, and we should go into defending mode. No, 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 you should have done this like this. No, no, this is not right. Then what happens is it goes on and on because this person tried to tell he is right, and the other person is trying to defend, no, how are you wrong? And then there is no end. And then what happens is it ends into quarrel and it ends into hurting each other, right? So that's what actually is the outcome. But what do we want to really do? At the end of the day, we want to come to Krishna Community Center so that what is our end goal? To practice bhakti and go back home, back to Godhead. We don't want to get stuck into these quarrels and fightings and discussions and things like that, right? And corrections and whatnot. These are all coming because of different modes, and we are bound by these modes, and these modes are making us dance left and right. So at the end of the day, I have to understand that my goal is not to do all this. My goal is to chant Krishna's holy name, uh, study the study the scriptures, get the association of devotees. and practice bhakti so I can become a pure devotee and end my journey and go back home, back to Godhead. At the end of the day, our family members, nobody is going to come with us. Everybody is going to stay, go different paths according to their destination. But the point is, how can I go deep in Krishna? So that is basically a very one important thing is for the sincere devotees, um, be in this world, but not of this world. I heard that many times and I'm kind of stuck in my head. Be in this world, but not of this world. What it means is, yes, we have to be in this world. Yes, we have to deal with the Vaishnavas. Yes, we have to deal with the devotees. We have to do the service. Yes, we have to address the situation. Yes, we have to correct somebody who's doing wrong, you know. And Vaishnava etiquette qualities, you deal friendly with your equals. You, be compassionate to your juniors who are neophyte and be very respectful and give all the respect to the seniors. Respect, friendliness, and compassion. These are the three layers. How do we deal with equals? How do we deal with senior? And how do we deal with junior? But when a sincere devotee is chanting, hearing, and reading, what they do is, if some situation is coming in their life, if some, say for example, if they understand that, well, now this is going to go in heated discussion. This person is very angry right now. What they do is they say something and slowly skip from that situation. That is intelligence. That is intelligence. If you just get into that situation and fuel that situation more, you will also go down in spirituality. The other person will also go down, and it's basically destruction for. Like in war, what happens? Both the sides suffer, right? How does it matter who is right or wrong? If war is happening, both the parties are suffering. So, what is the end goal? It's just the suffering. So, I need to understand that if I become part of something, even I am 1,000% right, and the other person is 10,000% wrong, still I will be affected, even if I'm right. Because no matter what, if somebody get offended, forget about devotee. If somebody get offended by something by us, and he feels in his heart some negative feeling about us, we will go down in our sadhana for a couple of days. That will happen. Correction needs to be happen, but then we have to face the consequence for sure. Does that mean we don't do the correction? No, it doesn't mean we don't do the correction. We have to do the correction. But the point here is how the correction can be done, how smoothly, nicely, without making situation worse. So let the situation pass by and take step later. You know, if Shringi would have said, who did it and shouldn't have done, he immediately became agitated and immediately cursed without even thinking who would have done it, right? Why he did it, without even thinking he did that action. So that was wrong, and that's what basically condemned. And Prabhupada speaks heavily in the purport about that. So it's 8:33. We'll stop here. I know I spoke a lot. There is a lot to learn from each of these personalities, but something a lot from as we practice. Each of these personalities has so many great qualities, and I always think like, how do I apply in my own life? It's not that I also been there, I'm there, but I'm still learning and still trying to practice bhakti sincerely so that I can please Vaishnavas around me and try to serve them, try to learn from them, and try to take their association in a positive way. So we'll stop here. If there is any question, comment, we can take. Otherwise, we can end. So please forgive me if I spoke anything wrong. Vanchakalpatarvishya kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'll end.